I am using my KitchenAid juicer. They're very inexpensive, and as you can see, they work really well. The lemon is completely emptied of its juice, and you know, we have so much juice in here just from 2 lemons. So next, this is a very important step, and I usually suggest you use 2 chicken breasts, because that will make like regular amount of it. If you want a lot of it, you can use all of them. It's just you're gonna have to make a lot of butter. Wash the chicken breasts first, and then I chop it up. The next step is we chop the chicken into cubes. Make sure you don't cut yourself. Now that we have finished chopping up the chicken and it's all in cubes, we take the chicken and we put it in the spices so we can marinate it. Now usually what people do is they get a bowl and they put it in with yogurt first, and then they add in all the spices, and then they mix it up with their hand. But you want to be clean and cleanly, you can use Ziploc bags and it'll work just as well, or even better. So what I usually do first is I open the bag and I open the yogurt, and the yogurt goes from being this full to like halfway full, or less than halfway full by the end. Kind of like dump in how much you think. A lot of yogurt. You just kind of like, yeah, that should be good enough. Now we take the chicken and we put it inside the yogurt. So all this cubed up yummy chicken goes in this bag, and it gets ready to be marinated. Yay! Now it's time for the spices. We're going to use onion powder, ginger powder, and garlic powder instead of chopping it up because I don't have time. So you just like shake it in there and get a lot in there so it's flavorful, because this is basically just like, you know, making sure every piece of chicken has the deliciousness of deliciousness, you know. Next you use some coriander powder, but not too much, only a little bit. Just kind of like eyeball it, what I do. It always comes out good, but if you want some like directions, I'll leave it down below in the description. Then we use the red chili powder more in our actual sauce, more so in here. What you do is you take it out and pour a little tiny bit in. I would say about a teaspoon, unless you want it super, super, super spicy. Then we have our garam masala. Let's put the garam masala in there. It's mostly garam masala. I just put a lot of it in there because that is the main ingredient. Garam masala. And then we have our cumin seeds, which these just add flavor and also chewiness. The chewiness isn't that much, but just pour in, I'd say about that much. If you add too much lemon, it will be super lemony, but just, you know, I would say about 2 lemons, maybe more like 1.5 lemons is good. You do what you think is good. Oh, no, you don't do what you think is good. I'll leave the measurements down below. Then you zip it up and you just kind of make sure you get the air out of there first. Then you just kind of like slop it all together. It'll look kind of gross at first, but it'll taste good. So I think that's what really. Make sure you get all the spices mixed in there so that it's nice and delicious. Now it is time to put it in the fridge until whenever you want to do something with it. It doesn't really matter if you let it sit or not. I mean, I think if you let it sit longer, it will have more flavor in it, but it tastes the same either way. I've done it both ways. But if you don't have time, you can totally leave it in the fridge for like a long time and it'll still be good. So let's put it in the fridge. I forgot to add the turmeric. This is actually pretty important for your butter chicken to taste good, so make sure to add the turmeric. After ages of leaving the chicken in the fridge, it's time to cook it. You need to set the stove to medium heat, and then we put in a lot of butter. Start off with half stick of butter. About that much. We add the chicken with the liquid as well. As it heats up more, make sure to add some more butter because it is butter chicken, so you need to make sure that it's very buttery. As it heats up, you may see this more watery consistency. Don't worry, just keep letting it cook all the water out. When it's fully watery, you just take the chicken out. You can use the remainder of the juice for your rice or something else. So it is almost done. How you can tell is it's very, very watery now, and it's a bit bubbly, so that shows the warm. So now at this time, I turn it off and I wait till it cools down a bit more, and then I take the chicken chunks out and I pour the juice and set it aside for pouring on my rice or just on top of the butter chicken. Now it is time to make the sauce. What is usually recommended, get tomato sauce, pour it into pot, but I don't have tomato sauce, I only have tomato paste. I put water in it and then I pour, and then it's tomato sauce. Not strong enough. Wait, am I doing this wrong? Or am I just not strong enough? So after I added water to it, as Megan Marie would say, I diluted it. It was too much, so I'm going to have to pour it into the pot to get it all smoothed out like so. Next we use some clarified butter. Wow! And pour it in our pot. So you just like get like a glob of, or a few globs of it, and you just like slap it in there. All right, so usually you put it on like low at first. It starts to like liquefy. You add in the tomato sauce. Make sure you put your shield on top of it. So it's cooled down. We're gonna just take the juice out of here. We're gonna put the chicken on the plate. Make sure you get all or most of the juice out of the chicken before you put it on the plate so that it won't be gritty, because the marination spices are way too strong. It'll just destroy the flavor. All right, so as you can see, the chicken is out and it looks beautiful. It's very lovely. So now I'm going to take all the juice out of this pan because I use both the pot and the pan to make the sauce. You could do it either way, but pour it all in and you save it for later. All right, so now that the clarified butter is more of a liquid consistency, it's time to add our, right now, tomato paste, but it'll be tomato sauce when I'm done with it. And then after this, I'm gonna get some water. We're going to dilute it because Megan Marie likes that word. All right, now it's time to add some water. I would say maybe 1 cup because that equaled like 3 cups. You know, you don't want it to be like way too much of a liquid. It needs a little bit of thickness in it. And you just stir it up and then I'll show you what's next. One more thing, after you add the water and tomato sauce, you just need to heat it up to about, here it's 4, but it's just a little bit under medium heat. And then you mix it up, put the lid on it, and you wait until it starts boiling, kind of. All right, so now that this is done making weird explosion sounds, it is time to pour it into this pan and add our ingredients. All right, what I usually do is I put in a lot of this so that it's spicy. Now, if you don't want it to be that spicy, then only add a little bit, or none. And then you just stir it in. And then to add more spice, just a little bit of onion powder and some chili powder. You don't have to add the chili powder unless you want it to be super spicy. And then you stir it up. And then you add some garam masala. That should be good. And then a little bit of coriander powder. Oh, that's not a little bit of coriander powder. That is actually not good. Maybe I'll just make more food. You only need a little bit of this. It's like, I should start measuring things. Okay, get it all mixed together by mixing it up. Oh no! I was too aggressive. So now you just add like some butter in there. Just like, you know, that's not enough butter, but you know. Yeah, it's you know, whipping cream. You need to be precise. Just add a little bit of honey. Alright, so as you can see, this is what it looks like when it's done. Very saucy and chickeny. I guess that's a new word. So now it's time to try it. Like, see if it's actually good. Wow, 10 out of 10 recommend you spending your money on buying ingredients to make this delicious dish. I'm joking, it's actually pretty good. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you like this recipe, and yeah, have a good day.